Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So we are still in IBB matter. So my people, a lot of people have been calling on Yakubu Gowon to come and tell them what happened in 1966 coup and everything that happened with the Biafra matter. Also concerning the promise he made to the Igbos, which are the Biafrans, if he actually fulfilled that promise. A lot of people think that Yakubu will not come out to say the truth. But guys, in this video I want to show you, he had a lot to say about Igbos, about the Biafrans and his promise to Biafrans. My people, watch this video.
Welcome to the program, Your Excellency.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you.
Now tell us about your growing up in Nigeria.
Well, as a young man, went to school in a village called Wusasa, a church missionary station, place called Wusasa in Zaria, and of course went to school, at the mission school, and then to government secondary school, federal government, northern government secondary school, now called Barewa, and then took my entrance examination for the military training, and then got my training. Went for my training in Teshi, Ghana, and then from there to the United Kingdom for for further training, and then back to the headquarters. And at that time, when Nigerianizing Nigerianizing the officer of the Nigerian army, and I was posted appointed as adjutant general of the Nigerian army. Well, that is, you are the principal staff officer. Okay. Dealing with administration, discipline, and promotion, etc.
Okay. Under the colonial.
Yes, and then Ojukwu was we were promoted the same time with Ojukwu.
Are you serious?
Ojukwu, he as a quartermaster general, okay. And David Ejo led the governor, former governor of the Midwest. He was the GSO1. After that course, I came back, and then within 36 hours of my arrival, yes, a coup took place, and all my colleagues, that we came from the same school. Malari, Kuru Mohammed, Abogo Larigema, Yakubu Pan, and were all killed. And that one senior officer at the time, a colleague of mine who was the same set, an Igbo officer, he too was killed. Arthur Onegbe, he too was killed. I was the last one standing. So that was how the military came into power.
Now, can you give us the events that led to your becoming the head of state at the age of 31?
After the first, that coup, and things were back to order. A lot of problems in the country, riots here, and killings here. And Iransi was trying to get all the traditional rulers to have a meeting in Ibadan. The crisis got to the stage whereby Iransi was kidnapped, taken by some young officers, and even though instruction was given that they should he must be kept safe, and moved to safety. That instruction was not obeyed by these young officers, and the next thing that I received report that he was killed, etc. And so for the next 2-3 days, there was nobody in charge.
Was a vacuum.
There was a vacuum. And so it got to the time when even the civil servants, senior civil servants in Lagos, they want at least somebody to give the command. Unfortunately, the chief of staff, then Brigadier Ogundipe, Brigadier General Ogundipe, was not able, to take control, because I think he had organized some soldiers, to go and either discipline, what was happening in Ikeja. And unfortunately, as a result of that, all other officers refused to take his command. Okay. So I had to go to Ikeja to try and sort out things. And when I went there, yes, true enough, they had to sort of accept my command. They said at that time they're not accepting any instruction from anyone else other than myself at that time. So, well, I was not honestly keen, and I remembered saying, well, if any of you junior ones want to do it, I want you can take it, but leave me. I want to sort of take charge of the army to restore the discipline, loyalty of the Nigerian army that I was in charge of as Adjutant General of the Nigerian army. I offered it to even the junior ones. However, on second thought later on, I said, I can now see. But then, the diplomatic corps also, they want at least anybody who can be listened to.
Wow.
So that is when it came to me. Now, the young officers said, no, they would not like anybody else other than myself.
Wow.
Other than myself.
That was a lot of responsibility.
So I said, well, look, it is not now. So when it got to the stage whereby, yes, if that is the case, if they've said that, I made known to the other senior officers that we were in government together at the time. And of course, they said, well, look, I think the best thing that we should do is to accept something that can ensure that with the military or the army is brought under control, and at least is loyal to whichever leadership that will come. So, that was, I think, at the time that I was being virtually asked, look, to take charge, take control, and I did. But when it became very clear to me that I was going to be the head of state, the fear that really came, on me, honestly, in fact, the fear that you have when you're about taking your school certificate, I don't know whether you remember.
What sustained you when you were in power, when you took over power after the vacuum?
Well, so in the end, what I had to do was that I asked, when it became abundantly clear that I cannot get away from it, I asked everybody to leave the room, and I went down on my knee and prayed to God that at least God knows that it is not my wish, my intention, that this should happen. But right the way through, He has seen me through. So I prayed to God to give me the courage, of David and the wisdom of Solomon, to be able to do the right thing for the country, for the people, and for our nation. And honestly, I must admit, after that prayer, I said, show me the way to do it.
You got your confidence.
My confidence returned. And I know that I cannot do it. I have not been in government. I know, yes, in the army, I know what to do. I can give various instruction. But what I needed now to do was to get the cooperation of other people outside even the army. And of course, since there are no politicians for me to discuss with or talk with, at least there is the civil servants, the civil servants in Nigeria, and of course, a number of them have been my permanent secretary, Ministry of Defense, and of course, some of them we had worked with, at various conferences, meeting, to discuss, the independence celebrations, at the time, and of course, so if I had to depend on them, I said, well, you know how the government is done, you give advice to the government, so I rely on you, to help be able to, so we can work together in the interest, of the country.
You're truly a man of history. Now let's come to the Civil War. You led the Civil War. Can you tell us the lessons you learned after the war, so that the generations that has not encountered war will understand why it is necessary to maintain peace at all costs?
After the war, after the Civil War, I know what various people went through. Honestly, war is not something that you wanted to do. I was only forced to do it, but not to fight the people, the old people, the pregnant women, children, etc. No, I think it was, I gave instruction to the soldiers. There is an instruction how they are to behave, to look after, to protect the people, the old people, only those who take up arms against them. That was the thing. Now, when you hear the story that we killed 1 million or 2 million or 3 million people, no, not from the soldiers shooting people. It meant they had to go shooting the people right away through. It is the people that became casualties were the people that Ojuku and the government told to run away from these vandals, from these wicked people, from Gowon the killer, etc. And of course, these people are running away, and as they walk and area contracted because of a movement. And of course, I think most of people really died of either hunger, diseases, etc. Not really from the federal troops shooting and killing people indiscriminately. It is only those who took up arms against. And but at the end of the war, I said, and I prayed to God that Nigeria should never again go through experience this sort of carnage.
So do you think the Igbos have been rehabilitated, reintegrated, and reconciled to Nigeria properly?
During the Civil War, a lot of before the Civil War, a lot of the Igbo people had to leave the country. But it is not the federal government that moved them on. It was a call from Ojuku himself that all Easterners should leave. All the Easterners should leave from all parts of the country, and because he was thinking or planning for progress succession at the time. And so a lot of people left had to leave because of that of that call. Those that had to leave for fear of the crashes that was taking place were very few. Now I understand that the chief, the Otumba, had a neighbor. Next to him, who left his home staying next to him, the vice president, and so he had to look after his house and even rented it for him, etc. And at the end of the Civil War, when I asked that we should adopt our 3 R's: reconciliation, rehabilitation, and reconstruction. But there is also another R, reintegration. Even though that can be included in the rehabilitation program, but reintegration. But how about we call it 3 R's? Now I understand that what he did in fulfillment of that policy, which when they returned to Lagos, and then his friend Tumba, he said, well, here is your house. He has renovated it. He had rented it to people, so he gave him back his house and all the money, the rent that he had collected. Honestly, that was one of the greatest things that helped to fulfill our program, our effort to try to bring the country together again, etc. So he played his part, as a Yoruba man, as from from the West, and as a Nigerian that are called to do whatever we can in order to ensure that we're able to come back together again as a people and build a better nation. Now that sort of thing also happened. I can assure you in all parts of the country, in Kano, in Jos, in Zaria, in Kaduna, and in various parts of the country. And a lot of the Igbo people left almost immediately as soon as the war was over. They went back and they got from their property and whatever rented from that was given to them. At least that helped to bring about the reconciliation that is required in order for the country to become one again and to move forward.
You're the initiator of the National Youth Service Corps. Do you think the objective for which it was set up has been met and sustained? Because there are also some schools of thought that are saying that it should be scrapped. What's your take, Excellency?
Now I can tell you this: that they are very, very happy with it, and the improvement in the scheme from the way when it started during our time. But what they have now, the youth corps have done to all the states, the government states and local governments throughout the country, the improvement that they've made and the reputation they've had from people. I can show you, today the improvement of the youth corps service is so much that it is the youth corps themselves that are saying, yes, please let it continue, because it is giving us even new adventure. The whole idea was for the young people to know their country, Those who live in Lagos, send them to either Maiduguri or to Sokoto. Those from Sokoto, send them to Calabar or to Port Harcourt so that they can learn how to swim. That really help our young people to know themselves, and they will grow as knowing themselves as Nigerians. Not just part of their own particular area where they came from. So I can show you that idea is a good idea and to help the youth and to be anything that can do that, so that because they will be the future of your country.
Your Excellency, of all your legacies, which is the closest to your heart?
I think that I was able to keep the country together, and then to ensure that we had the opportunity to really move this country beyond what it is before return to democracy. But we had a economic plan that would have taken this country beyond, honestly, at this stage of even beginning to industrialize after the Civil War.
Hey, my people, you have heard all that Yakubu Gowon has to say about this. This is the reason why a lot of people did not want him to actually address the issue. They have the opinion that he might come out and not say the truth. According to this video you just watched, you can see that he's not even ready to take responsibility of the people that lost their lives during the war, during the Biafra war that time. And in fact, a lot of things were said in this video, and I am hopeful you watched it in details to get everything he has to say. Guys, let me know what you think about this in the comment section. Please feel free to share your own opinion. I will definitely see you all in my next video. Bye for now.